Okay, imagine this for a second. There's this natural phenomenon, right? And it's so bizarre, so, well, unbelievable that when a scientist actually describes it, people apparently just give her these looks of utter disbelief.
Yeah, it sounds like something out of science fiction almost.
Exactly. We're talking about a killer fungus. And this fungus forces its insect victims, flies in this case, to die at the exact same time, every single day, like clockwork.
Uh-huh. No matter when they get infected.
Wild. So today we're doing a deep dive into this fungus, Entomophthora muscae. We'll look at its pretty macabre methods and also this recent scientific breakthrough that finally figured out the secret behind that precise timing.
Right, the grisly mystery of the sunset death.
Our mission is basically to unpack how scientists crack this. And our source for this is a really great article in Science News by Megan Rosen.
Yeah, it lays it all out. And what's amazing is how long this puzzled people. Decades.
Decades. Just knowing it happens, but not how.
Exactly. This timing, always at sunset, was just baffling. Carolyn Elya, she's a molecular biologist who's really dug into this. She's the one who mentioned those looks of utter disbelief. People just couldn't wrap their heads around it.
I can believe it. I mean, beyond just being weird, what was the big scientific question? What made that timing so confusing for researchers?
Well, it's the precision. It's just so extreme. Usually parasites kill their hosts whenever it benefits them, maybe when the parasite is mature or conditions are right for spreading, not tied rigidly to the sun like this.
So it broke the usual assumptions.
Totally. It made them wonder, okay, is the fly doing this somehow? Is its own body clock involved? Or is something else entirely driving this schedule?
And the name Entomophthora. That sounds kind of ominous.
It really is. Comes from Greek insect and destruction. Ellie pointed out how fitting it is because these fungi, well, they just completely trash their insect hosts.
Trash feels mild, actually, hearing the details, because this isn't just like a disease killing a fly. It's more like a zombie situation.
That's a really good way to put it. A zombie apocalypse. Fly edition. Once a spore lands on a fly.
Just lands anywhere.
Yep. And then it pushes its way inside the fly's body.
Right.
Once it's in, the fungal cells start multiplying like crazy.
Okay.
And then they spread. All through the fly's system. Critically, they eventually get to the brain.
The brain. Uh-oh.
Exactly. And that's where the macabre puppeteering starts, as the article puts it.
Puppeteering. So it's not just in the brain, it's controlling the fly from there. What does that look like?
It absolutely controls it. The fungus forces the host into this very specific final act. The infected fly is compelled to climb upwards.
Climb. Why upwards?
Usually to the highest spot it can find, like the top of a plant stem, maybe a leaf, sometimes even just high up on a wall.
And then?
And then it gets even weirder. It uses its mouth parts, its proboscis, to glue itself there. Sticks itself fast.
Glues itself. Wow. So it's like this final ritualistic climb and pose dictated by the fungus.
Precisely. It's completely under the fungus's control at this point.
And this all culminates right at sunset, you said.
Yeah, the timing is chilling. As the sun sets on its last day, the fly's wings lift up, almost like a final salute, and then it dies. Stuck there.
Locked in place. And I think Elya called the dead flies effectively a sack of fungus at this point.
A very apt description.
Huh.
Because the fly's insides are just consumed.
Hmm.
But the fungus isn't finished even then.
What else could it do? The fly's dead.
Well, remember that high position? That's crucial for the next stage, spore dispersal. These cannon-like structures burst through the dead fly's back.
Cannon-like structures, seriously.
Yeah, and they forcefully launch fungal spores out into the air. Being up high gives them maximum range to spread and find new hosts. It's efficient, terrifyingly so.
Okay, wow. So back to the timing mystery. How did they figure out if it was the fly's clock or the fungus's clock controlling that sunset death? How did Elya's team tackle that?
They were really systematic about it. The first logical step was to see if the fly was somehow involved in the timing. So they need to rule the fly out or in.
How do you test that?
They used genetically modified flies in the lab. Some had their internal body clocks, their circadian rhythms, essentially broken. Others were modified so they couldn't perceive certain wavelengths of light, the kind that usually sync up those internal clocks with the day-night cycle.
Okay, clever. So if the fly's clock or light perception was key, messing with those should have messed up the death schedule, right?
That was the hypothesis. But the results were pretty stunning.
What happened?
Elya reported that no matter the mutant fly tested, they still all died at sunset. Every single time.
Whoa. So it didn't matter if the fly's internal clock was broken or if it couldn't see the time of day properly?
Didn't matter at all. That was the crucial finding. It proved pretty definitively that the fly was not driving the timing.
Which points the finger straight at the fungus.
Exactly. The focus shifted squarely onto Entomophthora, and that's when they found the real key.
What was it?
They looked at the fungus's genes, and they found a specific set of fungal genes whose activity levels went up and down in a regular cycle throughout the day.
Like its own internal rhythm.
Precisely. And here's the kicker. This cycling of gene activity continued even when they kept the fungus in complete constant darkness.
Ah, so it wasn't just reacting to light cues, it was keeping time itself.
That's the strong implication. It suggests E. muscae has its own internal, self-sustaining biological clock, an endogenous clock.
Is that common in fungi, having their own clocks?
Well, scientists have found internal timekeepers in other fungi species, yeah. But it hadn't been identified in E. muscae before this study. Elya made a great point about it. Usually, absence of evidence of a clock means that no one has looked.
Huh, good point. So they finally looked and bingo.
They found it. The fungus has its own kill clock.
Okay, so we know how it times it now, the fungus's own internal clock. But the big question is still why? Why sunset? Why go to all that trouble for that specific time? What's the leading idea there?
Elya's hypothesis, and makes a lot of sense from the fungus perspective, is about spore survival.
How does sunset help the spores survive?
Well, think about conditions after sunset. It gets cooler, usually more humid, damper overnight. Launching spores into that evening air helps them avoid the heat and dryness of the daytime sun, which could kill them off quickly.
Ah, okay. So it gives the spores a better chance of landing somewhere viable and staying moist enough to infect another fly.
Exactly. It's a strategic advantage. The timing isn't just about avoiding bad conditions, it's about exploiting good ones.
And maybe helps them find a new host under the cover of darkness.
That's part of the idea, too. The article mentions that once the spores land on a new fly, possibly overnight, they could duck inside its body and begin their dirty work, all before the sun comes up.
Wow. A stealthy, perfectly timed invasion.
Pretty much. It's incredibly orchestrated. And when you connect this back, to the bigger picture, it just underscores these amazing, intricate strategies that life evolves.
Yeah, it really does.
Understanding mechanisms, this precise, this weird even, like this fungal kill clock.
Yeah.
It really shines a light on how complex ecological interactions can be. You start seeing how interwoven everything is. And who knows, maybe these insights could spark ideas in completely different fields someday.
It absolutely makes you look at, well, even just a fly on the wall differently. So to recap, we've got this fungus, Entomophthora muscae, turning flies into zombies, marching them up high, gluing them down, and killing them precisely at sunset.
All orchestrated by its own internal clock, which scientists just recently discovered.
It's just an incredible, slightly terrifying example of nature's ingenuity.
It really is, and it leaves you with a thought, doesn't it?
Yeah, what's that?
Just what other hidden biological clocks are out there? Ticking away, orchestrating things in the natural world that we don't even see yet. Affecting tiny insects? Sure. But maybe influencing entire ecosystems in ways we're just starting to grasp.
Thinking about these specific bizarre adaptations, it definitely makes you wonder about all the hidden complexities and connections still waiting to be discovered in nature. It really makes you think.